Oscar Piastri held a 34-point lead after his teammate's car had an engine failure at the Dutch Grand Prix. It took him 6 races. He lost his lead and now trails by 24 points with only 3 races left in the World Championship, which obviously has generated a lot of debate about how Piastri has fallen from his form. And today, when his World Championship seems secure, his chances are now very slim. Debate has ranged from McLaren's internal preferences and sabotage theories to speculation about Oscar Piastri. Well, in this video we'll try to explain to you from our point of view the factors that are leading to this decline of Piastri, trying to understand what has happened from the Dutch Grand Prix up to now. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the analysis of what's happening with Oscar Piastri. Let's quickly set the context for this video. Zandvoort, Netherlands. On August 31st, 2025, Piastri is leading the Dutch Grand Prix, for which he had taken pole position that weekend. Fast lap, and he was leading each and every lap until his teammate suffered a reliability failure that forced him to retire from the race while he was in second place chasing his teammate. With this failure, the retirement, and Piastri's victory in that Grand Prix, the gap with Lando Norris was 34 points in the drivers' standings, and with Max Verstappen it was 104. That's why many considered that the 2025 World Championship was already his, seeing his form since the beginning of the season. But 6 races have passed since, and Piastri hasn't won again or returned to the winner's podium. In all previous Grand Prix, after the Brazilian Grand Prix, he's 24 points behind, while Max Verstappen leads by 25. So we're talking about a drastic drop in points in just 6 Grand Prix. In my view, the main issue behind Oscar Piastri's abrupt drop, there are 3 particular things that I consider key to understanding the slump he's having. The first thing is the accidents he's had, which can't be denied, have been due to his own mistakes as a driver. He's also been involved in internal disputes that have left Piastri unsatisfied. He has especially felt completely disconnected from the car in recent races. I'll start this analysis by answering 2 questions many people likely have. Is it the pressure from the title battle that's getting to him mentally? To Oscar Piastri? Is that why he's made mistakes and his pace has slowed? Or have they changed the car in favor of Norris and that's hurt Oscar Piastri? To answer the first question, it's clear there's pressure on Piastri, which he isn't handling well, and McLaren isn't helping either. Many underestimate the pressure drivers face in the title fight, likely the greatest they experience. We're talking about having within his grasp the dream he's been chasing practically his whole life. For example, Jenson Button, 2009 World Champion. He was experiencing problems with the car that made him feel uncomfortable, to the point where he complained that someone had changed something on his car, starting from the Singapore Grand Prix, when the car was practically the same. But the pressure was making him see things that simply weren't there in his car. He later admitted this in a documentary about the Brown Grand Prix team, years after their 2009 title win. No matter how you look at it, it's undeniable that Piastri has made several mistakes that, in his mind, must not be easy to digest. Mbakos crashed twice over the weekend in Singapore, giving his teammate a clear chance to overtake him. His move in the United States sprint caused the British team's double did not finish, and also in Brazil. He admits it was his mistake stepping on the wet curb which sent him into the wall during the sprint. And that's not my claim. This is what Oscar Piastri himself stated after the incident. But we also can't ignore that the internal situation at McLaren has put more pressure on him in the last few races. For example, at the Italian Grand Prix, the team told him to give up his position due to their pit stop error. His teammate's pit stop, which he didn't agree with at all, and in Singapore he felt that Lando Norris overtook him by hitting him. He felt it was unfair and got a negative response from the pit wall when he thought his teammate was wrong and wanted his position back. Between the mistakes, feeling the team hasn't been fully fair, losing points dramatically, and the pressure of fighting for the World Championship title, it's clear that he's under pressure, maybe much more than he should be feeling at this moment. So yes, pressure can be a huge factor, although, and this is very important, I don't think that's the main reason Piastri has lost performance, nor the absolute cause of how he lost a 34-point lead. Not from my perspective. That brings up my next question. Did they change the car? Now Piastri isn't comfortable with it? Many already know this story, especially those who have followed Red Bull in recent years. That when that car changed due to some update, one of the two drivers no longer felt comfortable driving it. And normally that side didn't fall on Max Verstappen. So a similar situation could be happening with Piastri and Norris at this particular point in the season. The quick answer is no, for a simple reason. McLaren has had such an advantage during the season that they decided to abandon the 2025 car to focus all their resources on the 2026 cars. They haven't upgraded the car since the summer break began. He's currently driving the same car he used to win in Belgium and the Netherlands. So it's practically impossible for it to be a bad adaptation to new parts that change his driving style. Although that's also true. After the Singapore Grand Prix, Lando Norris told McLaren in an interview that there was something he disliked about the car, and that unless they changed that, which to this day hasn't been revealed, they weren't going to win again for the rest of the season. And that change that Lando Norris explicitly requested in his car, that's very important in his car. That's what has helped the Brit feel comfortable with the car again, leading to his excellent late season form. Lando Norris may have found something in the car's setup or initial configuration. Is that allowing him to extract more potential from the car than his teammate can now? There was also speculation that Piastri's recent Grand Prix accidents may have damaged his chassis. However, McLaren said they fully inspected the car and found no damage. They thought swapping the chassis was just a psychological tactic that wouldn't fix the real issue. If it's not due to upgrades or car changes, what's causing Oscar Piastri's loss of pace? There's an explanation that matches the momentum the Australian driver is experiencing. That's because Oscar's driving style excels on grippy tracks. But when it's the opposite, he usually has trouble finding the right adaptation and doesn't know how to straighten things out throughout the whole weekend. In fact, according to Andres Stella himself, the team principal of this team, that's the perfect combination where Norris feels more comfortable with the car. In other words, tracks where grip is low. This has made this combination very uncomfortable for Piastri with the car. He must adapt his driving to meet these challenges. And by driving more consciously, he's less fast and effective, and this problem seems to get worse during qualifying sessions. So seeing this, it's not a mistake or an exaggeration to say that at this point in the season, Norris is the one who now feels more comfortable with the car, and Piastri doesn't feel as comfortable as he did at the beginning of the season. And something that the last 3 Grand Prix we've had have in common is that they were circuits where the grip was very low. This trend will continue at the next Grand Prix in Las Vegas. In Brazil, Piastri began the weekend running consistently at Lando Norris's pace in practice, one staying close to his teammate. But it's clear that after the crash in the sprint, Piastri hasn't been able to turn the weekend around to try to match his teammate's pace. All the drivers experience unusual grip on the Brazilian circuit because of the asphalt grooves. They worsened the problems in Mexico and the United States. And if it hadn't been for the accident and the race penalty, the reduction in points would have been much less dramatic than it turned out to be that weekend. By now, Piastri hasn't felt as comfortable with the car as he did early in the season. But he also has the pressure in his mind of having dramatically lost points up to this moment, which is definitely changing the tide. So you could say that Oscar Piastri's slump has been a combination of the pressure he's been under and an unfavorable trend on low-grip circuits, which has hampered his performance by forcing him to change his driving style. And once we understand this, let's move on to the final question of this video. Is Piastri's championship lost, or does he still have some hope of lifting the trophy at the end of the season? Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that Lando Norris has the momentum, the confidence with the car, the strength, and a 24-point advantage in his favor. Piastri needs a solid weekend to turn around any pressure he's feeling right now. And what if he manages to leave Las Vegas, a low-grip circuit, with a better result than his teammate? Qatar and Abu Dhabi are tracks where he can again use his driving style's strengths by greatly improving track grip and favoring circuits that suit his driving style more. But here's the big problem with this situation. Facing Las Vegas won't be easy, as the McLaren likely won't suit him. On the fast American circuit, Piastri must solve his specific issue with low-grip tracks, so that he can reconnect with the car and once again get the most out of its potential. We know it's there. Luckily, he has 2 weeks to find a solution, either in the setup or a helpful configuration. Not just to survive Las Vegas, but also to outperform his teammate. That's really all he needs to try to get back into the fight. Try to come out with a better result than Lando Norris at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. If the problem remains, Brazil's results will repeat on the strip, and to end up over 25 points behind his teammate without any luck. Is it 90% certain his dream of becoming world champion this season will end